Expectations from the humble scooter have evolved so much over time that the entry-level 110cc petrol scooter has started to seem almost a little too basic and perhaps lacking aspirational value completely. For those seeking a little bit more in life, you have 125cc scooters, 150cc plus scooters, and even performance electric scooters. So where does that leave the 110cc scooter? Hero has come out with a new model which it believes will help revitalize a segment which is anyway a little short on options for the younger audience, and for that it has rolled out the Xoom, spelled with an X. For those who believe good looks are half the battle won, one look at the Hero Xoom will have them hooked. It's clear from the get-go that Hero wants to catch the eye of younger 110cc scooter buyers who for a very long time have had to stick with the vanilla designs of the Activa and the TVS Jupiter, or go with the more funky looking Honda Dio. But the thing is, the Dio is now aging, having continued practically unchanged for years on end. So many buyers who want something fresher and more fun looking have chosen to move up the capacity ladder and buy the 125cc TVS N-Torque. The Xoom is essentially built to plug the small gap that exists between the Dio and the N-Torque, and this is apparent from its design. Sharp in its overall appearance, the Xoom employs 3 different surface finishes, including the main paint job, a gloss black strip up front, and matte silver lower front panels which house the segment first corner bending lights to great effect. The H-shaped LED daytime running light may remind some of the Vida V1 electric scooter, but the sculpted side panels make it clear the Xoom is not just a variant of any existing Hero scooter. The H-shaped LED motif is also present in the tail light. The exhaust is decidedly chunky. The pillion grab handle is neatly incorporated into the bodywork, and on the whole, the Xoom looks eye-catching. In fact, there were several instances during the media ride when onlookers and other motorists stopped to take a closer look at the Xoom, and I think that's a compliment to Hero's design team. At around 109 kilos, the Hero Xoom, while a touch heavier than the Dio, is pretty light, and maneuvering it around a small parking lot will be easy for most riders. The friendly 770mm seat height will ensure shorter riders can firmly place their feet on the ground. The seat itself is sufficiently large and well cushioned, if a little firm, and there's enough room even for the pillion rider, with the only grouse being the grab handle, which isn't the best to grip. All digital instrumentation is available on the top 2 variants, with the only difference being the top variant features blue backlighting instead of orange. The display, while a touch small, shows key info like fuel levels, average fuel consumption and speed, along with notifications enabled by Bluetooth connectivity that's offered on the top variant. However, it feels out of place in this day and age when higher-end scooters are switching to full-blown touchscreen systems, an addition that could have helped widen the Xoom's appeal, especially among younger buyers. It's also a fairly practical scooter. The 19.2-litre under-seat storage space, which also has a light, is big enough to gobble up small carry bags and some odds and ends. There is an irritant though. The Xoom lacks an external fuel filler lid, so every time you need to fuel up, you will have to get off the scooter, a problem that I think should not exist on a scooter in 2023. And there is no multifunction keyhole either, so to access the underseat storage, you will have to use the keyhole on the side panel, yet another inconvenience. There's also a storage bin incorporated up front that can hold small bottles and other pocket-sized items with a USB charging slot positioned between the storage compartments. However, the USB port is awkwardly positioned and hard to reach with ease, and the bins themselves are open with no option to add lockable covers, so you best not forget any valuables you place in them. Also, They eat into precious foot space, so carrying any large items on the floorboard will not be possible. Based on a modified version of Hero's existing 110cc scooter platform, the Xoom at 1300mm has a longer wheelbase than the Maestro Edge, but is also 3 kg lighter. It employs the same 110.9cc air-cooled engine, which has an identical power output of 8 horsepower and 8.7 Nm of torque. Off the line, the Xoom pulls smartly, but cross 40 km an hour and the engine gets a little buzzy, with a hint of vibration creeping in from the floorboard. This gruff note passes by the time you cross 60 kph, but while Hero claims the Xoom will go from 0 to 60 in under 10 seconds, it feels like it takes its own sweet time to get to that speed. Given a long enough stretch of open road, the Xoom will hit the hygiene 110cc top speed of 90 km an hour, but it will take you a while to get there. And the engine feels a little strained when you have a pillion rider on board, with acceleration further dulled because of the added weight. Still, the Xoom is at ease slicing through city traffic. On a fairly busy Tuesday in Gurugram, the Xoom made light work of jams on the short ride I was able to take it for during the media experiential. The Xoom has an ace up its sleeve in the form of a 12-inch rear wheel. The Dio, meanwhile, still has a 10-inch rear wheel, along with a wider rear tire, and changes of direction on the Xoom are quick and easy. You can dart through gaps in traffic, there's enough grip from the tires in the corners, and for most everyday commutes, the Xoom should be an able dance partner. Ride quality is on the firmer side, but it's no bad thing as the Xoom's suspension setup is reasonably pliant. It never once felt unnecessarily stiff, taking bumps and road imperfections in its stride, and thanks to the well-judged riding position, riders will be comfortable even over longer journeys. The braking setup, which comprises a 190mm disc up front and a 130mm drum at the rear, is pleasantly powerful, and the combined braking system works smoothly, so you're never left wanting for stopping power in most situations. The Xoom also features Hero's i3S stop-start technology, which is designed to help save fuel, and while it is a clever addition, it doesn't work quite as seamlessly as you'd imagine, though you can choose to switch it off entirely by pressing the blue switch on the right side of the handlebar. As is, the Xoom is expected to return somewhere close to 50 km to a litre in real-world use. Hero is keen to highlight the segment-first corner bending lights of the Xoom. The light system, which relies on inputs from a gyroscope as well as an accelerometer, is activated when the scooter leans by 6 degrees or more in either direction. I only got to experience the system on a short ride in the evening, and the corner lights didn't exactly make much of a difference on what was a reasonably well-lit route. These lights are said to have a throw of about 25 meters, but because of where they're positioned, they're only illuminating a small patch of road just beneath the scooter, so they don't seem particularly useful when turning into a corner on a dark street. Had there been actual cornering lights, activated by handlebar inputs, incorporated higher up on the apron, I feel like they would have gotten closer to providing the intended clarity and vision. After spending some time with it, it's not hard to see what Hero is trying to do with the Xoom. You see, the Xoom has one scooter in its crosshairs, the Honda Dio, which has long been the choice of younger buyers in the 110cc petrol scooter segment. But over time, buyers have also migrated from the Dio, which is now a little aged, to the TVS N-Torque, which is newer, it looks sporty, and also has a more powerful 125cc engine. Now, the Xoom is basically trying to plug a gap between the Dio and the N-Torque. Prices for the Xoom range from Rs 68,000 to Rs 77,000. These are introductory prices. They're slightly higher than what you would pay for a Dio, but they are substantially lower than what you would pay for a TVS N-Torque. That being said, I would have to say that the Xoom is not exactly path breaking in any sense. Yes, it does have these corner bending lights which are a segment first, but in the brief time that I could experience them, I didn't really find them to add that much value, at least on streets that are fairly well lit. On top of that, there's nothing new to talk about with the overall package, and Hero has talked about how this scooter can be ridden more aggressively but has not given it ABS, which could have been a novel addition considering nobody offers it in the 110cc petrol scooter segment. Now let us know what you think of the Xoom in the comments section. Like this video, subscribe to News 9 Live, and don't forget to tell us what you think of the Xoom and how it compares to its rivals.